Are you secretly blocking your own abundance? Stay with me. Don't scroll past this, because if your chest tightened even slightly when you heard that question, this message is for you. Today is January 28th, 2026. We are standing at the closing edge of the first month of this new year. The excitement of new year, new life has softened. The vision boards are still hanging. The affirmations are written, the goals are clear. And yet something feels unmoved. Something feels paused. And quietly, almost subconsciously, you may be asking yourself, is it me? Am I blocking this? For years you've been taught that if abundance hasn't arrived, there must be a blockage inside you, a limiting belief, a hidden fear, a childhood imprint, a low vibration. And without realizing it, you began to audit your own humanity. You started correcting every doubtful thought. You started feeling guilty for bad days. You started believing that one moment of fear could cancel out months of intention. That belief is heavier than you think. Let's unpack this carefully. The manifestation world often teaches empowerment, but it sometimes slips into subtle self-blame. You create your reality can be empowering, but when misapplied, it becomes, if it's not here, you failed, and your nervous system does not expand under accusation. It contracts. Abundance does not flow through contraction. Right now, many of you are in a phase that feels like stagnation. You've taken action. You've visualized. You've tried to stay positive. And still, the breakthrough hasn't landed. The promotion didn't come through. The relationship hasn't materialized. The money hasn't expanded. And instead of questioning timing, you question yourself. Listen closely. Not everything delayed is blocked. Not everything paused is sabotaged. Sometimes what you're experiencing is sequence. The universe operates on structure. It operates on layers. It operates on timing that involves more than just you. There are other people's choices, other moving parts, collective shifts, opportunities forming behind doors you cannot yet see. You are a co-creator, but you are not the only creator in the equation. If you plant a seed in winter and it doesn't bloom in a week, you don't accuse the seed of being broken. You understand the season. But with manifestation, you have been taught to mistrust the season and blame the soil. Here's the emotional mirror. You are tired of trying to get it right. You are tired of feeling like the universe is grading you. You are tired of believing that one wrong thought could disqualify you from your desires. That exhaustion is not weakness. It is wisdom knocking. This phase of January 2026 is not testing your positivity. It is testing your self-trust. Can you remain steady without turning against yourself? Can you allow delay without labeling it failure? What is being tested right now is your response. The universe is watching how you respond, not how fast you move. If you react with panic, you attach to panic-driven choices. If you react with shame, you shrink your own capacity. But if you respond with grounded awareness, something shifts. You step out of self-punishment and into participation. Avoid this in the coming weeks. Frantic spiritual overcorrection. Do not assume you need to buy another course, clear another chakra, rewrite your entire belief system just because something hasn't arrived yet. Self-reflection is healthy. Self-accusation is not. There are moments when delay is protection. There are doors that remain closed because the version of you that would walk through them is still stabilizing. There are outcomes forming that require structural alignment beyond your line of sight. You are not broken. You are in process. Abundance is not responding to your perfection. It is responding to your readiness and your participation. And readiness does not mean flawless. It means stable. Right now, as this month closes, take inventory not of your blockages, but of your patterns. Where have you been harsh with yourself? Where have you interpreted silence as rejection? Where have you equated timing with worth? The shift begins there, because the greatest blockage to abundance is not a negative thought. It is the belief that you are the problem. Release that. We will go deeper in the next chapter. Take a breath with me, because what we're about to unravel is the part no one wants to talk about when it comes to manifestation, timing. You want it now. Be honest. The breakthrough, the money, the clarity, the relationship, the expansion. You don't just want it eventually. You want movement. You want confirmation that you're not invisible to the universe. And here we are, January 28th, 2026. The first month of the year is almost complete. You entered this year with intention. You may have even felt momentum. But now there's a subtle question forming in your mind. Why hasn't it shifted yet? Let me gently challenge something. Urgency does not mean alignment. The human mind operates on comparison and deadlines. You look at your age. You look at peers. You look at social media milestones. You measure progress in weeks and months. But the universe does not measure in comparison. It measures in coherence. Coherence means all parts are aligned, not just your desire. When something hasn't manifested yet, it does not automatically mean resistance. Sometimes it means orchestration is still happening. There are moving parts you cannot see. People making decisions that will intersect with yours. Circumstances rearranging. Skills inside you still stabilizing. You are not behind. You are in sequence. There is a difference. Right now, this phase is not about acceleration. It is about calibration. The universe is not asking, how fast can you get there? It is asking, are you prepared to hold what you're asking for? And that preparation often feels like waiting. This is where many people sabotage themselves. They mistake divine timing for rejection. They interpret delay as proof they are blocked. And from that anxious energy, they force action. They chase what is not aligned. They say yes to opportunities that don't feel right. They lower standards because they are tired of standing still. Listen carefully. This phase isn't about action. It's about restraint. The universe is watching how you respond, not how fast you move. If you respond with panic, you attach yourself to outcomes that match panic. If you respond with grounded patience, you align with outcomes built on stability. Let's look at something practical. Think about a time in your past when something you desperately wanted didn't happen. A job you didn't get. A relationship that dissolved. A plan that collapsed. At the time, it likely felt like failure. But later, months or years later, you realized it redirected you toward something more fitting. That wasn't blockage. That was alignment through redirection. There are moments when what feels like stagnation is actually structural strengthening. Right now, as we transition from January into February 2026, many of you are building capacity, emotional capacity, financial awareness, clearer boundaries, sharper intuition. These are invisible upgrades, and invisible upgrades are not flashy. They don't give you immediate applause, but they determine whether abundance, once it arrives, will stay. What is being tested right now is patience without disengagement. Can you remain active without being frantic? Can you pursue without clinging? Can you trust without becoming passive? There is a difference between resistance and unreadiness. Resistance feels like internal contraction fear that shuts you down. Unreadiness feels like expansion, mixed with nervousness, growth stretching you. Learn to tell the difference. If something consistently feels forced, heavy, or confusing, it may not be a blockage. It may be misalignment, and misalignment is information, not condemnation. Avoid this in the coming weeks. Comparison-based urgency. Do not measure your timeline against someone else's highlight reel. You do not see their foundation. You do not see their trade-offs. You do not see the full story. Abundance built on comparison collapses under pressure. What is quietly aligning right now is infrastructure. Conversations that haven't happened yet. Introductions that will matter. Decisions you will make with clearer judgment because of what you are learning in this pause. You asked for more, and more requires structure. The universe builds foundations before it builds visibility. If you rush visibility without foundation, you create instability. If you respect foundation, visibility becomes sustainable. This moment may feel slow. It may feel uncertain, but it is not empty. It is active beneath the surface. Trust that orchestration is happening. In the next chapter, we're going to dismantle another myth, the idea that you can think your way into abundance, and why true alignment is far deeper than forced positivity. Now we go deeper, because here is where many people unknowingly exhaust themselves. You were told that if you just think positively enough, if you visualize clearly enough, if you repeat affirmations consistently, enough abundance will have no choice but to arrive. And when it doesn't, you assume you didn't believe hard enough. Let's gently dismantle that. Visualization is a tool. Affirmations are tools, but tools are not power by themselves. Power comes from alignment, and alignment is not mental gymnastics. Alignment is coherence between what you think, what you feel, what you choose, and what you tolerate. You can visualize wealth all day, but if your daily decisions are rooted in fear, avoidance, or self-doubt, your nervous system is broadcasting something different. Not wrong, just different. And here is something rarely spoken out loud. Forced positivity creates internal conflict. When you feel discouraged but tell yourself, I must stay high vibration, you split yourself in two. One part of you feels, the other part corrects. That tension is not alignment. That tension is suppression. True abundance does not require suppression. It requires honesty. As we approach February 2026, this is not the time to fake confidence. This is the time to build grounded clarity. You are being asked to become emotionally integrated, not spiritually performative. This phase is not about pretending you have no fear. It's about not letting fear make your decisions. There is a difference. The just think positive myth oversimplified something profound. Your thoughts matter, yes, but your choices matter more, and your patterns matter most. Alignment is practical. It looks like this. You say you want financial expansion. Are you learning about money? Are you organizing what you already have? Are you making decisions that reflect long-term thinking? You say you want a healthy relationship. Are you honoring your boundaries? Are you walking away from what drains you? Are you communicating honestly? Abundance responds to congruence. This is why some people who barely know manifestation language still thrive. They act in coherence. Their behavior matches their intention. You do not manifest by escaping reality. You manifest by engaging it with clarity. Right now, what is being tested is your integrity, not your optimism. Integrity means your actions match your stated desires. The universe is watching how you respond, not how beautifully you visualize. Avoid this in the coming season. Obsessing over your vibration. Vibration is not about emotional perfection. It is about emotional steadiness. It is about being real without spiraling, feeling disappointment without collapsing your belief system. And here is something important to hear. Negative emotions do not block abundance. Chronic inaction does. Chronic self-betrayal does. Chronic avoidance does. You are allowed to have bad days. You are allowed to doubt. You are allowed to feel tired. None of that cancels your future, but you are not allowed, if you want real expansion, to consistently abandon your own growth. Alignment also includes intuition. There's a quiet voice inside you that often whispers before logic catches up. It nudges you toward certain conversations. It nudges you away from certain deals. It tells you when something feels off, even if it looks perfect on paper. That voice is part of your manifestation system. And in this current energetic window, that voice is sharpening. Pay attention to subtle resistance. Pay attention to subtle expansion. If something feels light, curious, quietly exciting, follow it. If something feels heavy, pressured, draining, pause. This is not about doing more. It is about doing what is coherent. The illusion of scarcity has taught you that abundance is a prize you must earn by flawless thinking. But abundance is not fragile. It does not withdraw because you had a difficult week. Abundance is a field, and you access it through clarity, courage, and consistent aligned action. Gratitude plays a role here, but not as manipulation. Gratitude stabilizes your nervous system. When you acknowledge what is already working, your body relaxes. A relaxed body makes better decisions. Better decisions create momentum. This is practical spirituality. As January closes, simplify your approach. Instead of 10 rituals, choose one grounded action. Instead of trying to eliminate all doubt, commit to moving forward despite it. What is quietly aligning right now is maturity. You are outgrowing surface-level manifestation. You are stepping into co-creation with awareness. This phase isn't about proving your worth to the universe. It's about proving to yourself that you can act in alignment, even when results are still forming. In the next chapter, we will explore the illusion of scarcity and how your perception of lack may be shaping the very reality you're trying to escape. Stay with me now, because this is where everything shifts. We've talked about blame. We've talked about timing. We've dismantled forced positivity. Now we address the quiet illusion sitting underneath it all: scarcity. Scarcity is not just about money. It is a lens, a way of interpreting reality. It whispers there isn't enough, not enough time, not enough opportunity, not enough love, not enough room for you. And if you've been feeling anxious as January 2026 closes, if you've been checking your progress and feeling behind, scarcity may be speaking louder than you realize. Scarcity tells you that abundance must be chased, that it belongs to the fastest, the loudest, the most perfect, that if someone else wins, you lose, that if it hasn't happened yet, you're running out of chances. But abundance does not operate on competition. It operates on expansion. Look at nature. A tree does not rush because another tree is taller. The ocean does not panic because one wave crashed sooner than another. There is rhythm. There is space. There is enoughness embedded into creation itself. So why do you feel like you're fighting for air? Because you were conditioned to measure worth by speed and visibility. The illusion of scarcity makes you believe abundance is something you earn through flawless manifestation technique. But abundance is not a reward system. It is a field of potential constantly moving. When you believe there isn't enough, your decisions become defensive. You cling. You overwork. You say yes when you mean no. You undercharge. You over-explain. You settle. Not because you are incapable, but because you fear missing your only chance. Scarcity creates urgency that feels like survival. And survival energy does not build sustainable abundance. Here is the prophetic insight for this moment. February 2026 will not reward desperation. It will reward discernment. This next phase is not about grabbing every opportunity. It is about selecting aligned ones. It is about knowing that saying no is sometimes the most abundant move you can make. The universe is watching how you respond, not how fast you move. When you respond from scarcity, you grip. When you respond from trust, you choose. And choice is power. Let's make this practical. If you believe money is scarce, you operate from fear. You might avoid investing in yourself, or you might overspend trying to prove you're abundant. Both are imbalanced. But when you understand money as a resource that flows through value and decision-making, you move strategically, calmly, intentionally. If you believe love is scarce, you tolerate misalignment. You convince yourself to accept less. But when you understand connection as something that must match your evolution, you wait without shrinking. Scarcity says, take whatever you can get. Abundance says, select what reflects you. This is maturity. And maturity is what is quietly aligning inside you right now. You are outgrowing panic-based manifestation. You are stepping into co-creation that is rooted in stability. That means releasing self-punishment. Listen carefully. You do not need to punish yourself into prosperity. You do not need to shame yourself into success. You do not need to exhaust yourself proving you are worthy of receiving. Manifestation without self-punishment looks like this. You set intentions clearly. You take grounded action consistently. You adjust when feedback appears. You rest when needed. You remain open. You You do not collapse when timing shifts. That is strength. Right now, what is being tested is emotional regulation. Can you experience delay without spiraling into "I'm blocked"? Can you see someone else succeed without interpreting it as your loss? Can you keep building quietly without external validation? This phase isn't about dramatic leaps. It's about internal stabilization. There's something powerful happening beneath your surface. You are becoming less reactive, less desperate, less easily shaken by temporary outcomes. That is abundance forming within you before it forms around you. Gratitude becomes different at this stage. It is no longer a technique to force manifestation. It becomes perspective training. When you notice what is already working, your skills, your resilience, your lessons, your small wins, your nervous system shifts out of survival mode. And a regulated nervous system makes wiser decisions. Wiser decisions create momentum. Momentum creates results. This is not mystical bypassing. This is integrated manifestation. Avoid this as you move into the next month, measuring progress only by external milestones. There are internal upgrades happening right now that will define your next breakthrough. Boundaries are strengthening. Standards are clarifying. Your intuition is sharpening. What is quietly aligning is self-trust. And self-trust changes everything. When you trust yourself, you don't cling to what leaves. You don't chase what is unclear. You don't collapse when something pauses. You stay steady. You evaluate. You respond. The universe does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to be coherent. Coherence is when your values, actions, and desires move in the same direction. As February 2026 approaches, simplify your focus. Choose one meaningful action that aligns with your long-term vision. Do it consistently, not frantically, consistently. Release the need to monitor every thought. Release the idea that abundance is fragile. Release the belief that delay equals deficiency. You are not behind. You are being positioned. And one day soon, you will look back at this exact period, this quiet recalibration, at the end of January, and you will realize it was stabilizing you for something larger than you could see. This moment will make sense later. If this message found you at the right time, stay connected to Celestial Insight. Subscribe. Walk this path consciously, because the next shift will not be loud. It will be aligned, and you will be ready.